Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Trish Standley TV. We have an amazing co-host for you, none other than Chanel Smythe. She's going to be hanging out with me. We're going to be talking to Adrian Pitts of Uncaged Heart, author. And we're going to talk about life after lockup. And this is going to be a very intense, very serious topic. And I want you to tune in. I want you to get ignited and excited as a community so that we can help our brothers and sisters who are fresh out of incarceration. So you don't want to miss this episode. Stay tuned.
Trish Standley TV Show.
Hey guys, welcome to today's show. My very special co-host is none other than Chanel Smythe, and she is of beauty therapy. She is also my personal esthetician, so check her out. She's gonna bring that glow. But the topic today is gonna be life after lockup, and our special guest is who?
Adrian Pitts.
Welcome to the show, Adrian.
Honored to be here.
You're an author, you're an entrepreneur. Without getting into the meat of what we're going to be talking about today, just give us a little bit of background because you came all the way to Atlanta from Maryland. Just share a little bit about your background with us, if you would.
I was born in D.C. and I grew up in Maryland. I grew up with my grandparents. My parents wasn't present in my life. Mother, she was struggling with addiction, and my father, I never got to meet him. But I did have my grandparents. My grandmother was there mostly. She was a very loving and caring person. I grew up in Prince George's County, that area. There was a lot I was dealing with as a kid. A lot that I didn't really understand, had a difficult time processing, and kind of played a part in the path that I took in my life at an early age.
So your grandparents that raised you, was that paternal or maternal on your dad or your mom?
It was on my mom's side.
Okay.
And so that pretty much led to the direction I went in my life. And to me being in prison as a result of that. But when I went through that experience, I realized that it was, don't matter where you at, life is life. It's all about how you look at it. And so I made it like a university, took that time to educate myself, to look deep in myself, realize what decisions I was making, was it bringing me the results I wanted. I realized that that a big part of my bad decision making was not allowing myself to feel. And I think that's the issue with a lot of men. We don't allow ourselves to feel. We don't allow ourselves to, go through what we're feeling and have a safe space to release that.
Yeah, you learned how to numb out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
At a young age. So.
And Chanel, what about you? Share some of your background, because I know you, but everyone else doesn't know you. Share a little bit of your background as well.
Yeah. So somewhat similar. I'm a little different. So I was actually born in Canada, and I grew up in Maryland, and in PG County. And for me, I knew my dad, but he lived in a whole different country. So it was just me and my mom, where my mom worked all the time. So it was just me solo. And I think for myself, just like how Adrian said, just the bad decisions. I realized my biggest thing was I decided less for myself a lot of times, which ended me up in predicaments that I either could not get out of or just stuck in. And that's what it was for me when I was 18, just deciding less for myself, dealing with somebody who I shouldn't have. And it placed me literally in jail, prison, and that was almost 3 years of fighting a murder charge that had nothing to do with me. So having to deal with the actual process of being incarcerated, and then to deal with the dilemma when you get home, or even for myself was the negative attention brought to of the case, which resulted in me having to move and just having to change my lifestyle in a big way so that I could live happy and free. So Adrian and I, we've known each other over 10 years. Even during the time when because he was gone already around 2013. So we just created this undeniable bond and connection, and we're really just there for each other during that time. Even when I came home and he was still incarcerated, it still was a bond that just is still to this day. So yeah,
it was a support system, and that's so hard to come by. And the thing that is really how do I want to say it? The thing that strikes me the most is, we were talking a little bit before the tapes were rolling, and I was sharing with you how I don't feel like we as a community do enough to support those who have been incarcerated and are coming home. That is something very personal to me, and I really don't know how to support. So I wanted to kind of tackle this topic because I need help.
Yeah.
I need help because I want to be a sense of support, even just for my family, but beyond my family, for my community. And so we already know that, you know, a lot of times we're set up. Some things we do, but most of it, they already got our path in elementary school on what we're going to take. Okay, so we know all of that stuff exists. I really want to touch and get to the meat of being able to support those coming out. Not even just right when they get out, because they need support longer than just when they get out. It's long-term support that they need. And so, Adrian, kind of share with us what first of all, how long did you have to serve? And then you don't have to go in any further detail than what you want to give. But then once you came out, what was one of the biggest obstacles that you faced when you came out?
I spent a total of 14 years in prison.
Okay.
The biggest obstacle when I came out, I'm gonna say transitioning mostly.
It was like different world from when you went in.
Exactly. You know, you think of things. I spent so much time in there imagining things to be like how it's playing out in my mind, and then happening to get out in society and adjust to things, because you can think about things, you can read about things, but it's still not the same as the actual experience. And so being able to transition has been, like, I would say, one of the biggest challenges, but has benefited me by, you know, embracing it and dealing with it and not like trying to, you know, run from it. Has benefited me a lot, and it's kind of like helping me move at a fast pace, actually.
So you're trying to play catch up?
I'm not trying to play catch up because that time is gone.
Yeah.
You know, I already lost it. But I don't take time for granted now. No, like, I try to be more intentional about the things that I'm doing and the work that I put on myself, and the value I put in myself, and what I'm doing with my life.
So where does that come from? Because you seem so calm and so cemented in who you are, and I know every individual is different. Maybe it was the grandparenting, you know, that the parenting that you had, but you seem so confident and sure. And where does that, how when someone is recently released, how can they get to that place within just in who they are? You seem very settled within yourself. Where does that come from?
I think that they can get to that place before they even get out here. By taking time to themselves to, first I'm gonna say educate yourself on who you are, because I think like a lot of times, a lot of like the crimes that people commit it comes from a space of not knowing who you are. And I think taking the time to get to know who you are, take the time to put work, with yourself, sit with yourself, really be honest, because we're dialogical beings, so we evolve through dialogue, whether it's internal or external, and that can happen anywhere, so you can grow anywhere. Right. But taking that time to do that, it changes your perspective. You can go from looking at yourself as being less than, or being like somebody who, you hate yourself or inadequate, or whatever the case may be, to realizing that you're a person, just like anybody else, and you have the ability to change. You have the choice to be who you want to be, no matter what space you're in. It may be difficult, but it doesn't mean it's impossible. So you still got that choice, and you still got the choice to choose the life that you want for yourself. So I would say like they can start that while they're in there. Start going on the journey of healing. Yeah. Start doing the work of that, and then connect with people. This is perfect right here. Getting this information out there, us having these conversations. From a conversation, we all find commonality, and from that place, that's where you build a community. Yeah. So. Yeah.
And for you, how was it for you when you first came, starting all over? For you once you were released, what was that like for you?
It was difficult at first, of course. It was just a lot of like negative tension. So for myself, it was just a lot to just kind of like readjust. Like you said, you're in this space, you're watching TV, you might hear stuff, you might read stuff. And I tell people all the time, I felt like myself, my whole body, being everything, paused in the real world while I was inside somewhere else. To return, the world changed. Everything has changed. So it's small stuff. I couldn't sit in a car and drive. I couldn't go to the store. Like all the people, it was just a lot to receive. So it just, a lot of time, my biggest thing was support between my family, my mom, my sister, my brother. They were my biggest supporters. But one of this topic in general, him and I have talked about, as well as my sister, because while I was incarcerated, I felt, and I'm very spiritual, so I speak on God, and I felt like God put something on my heart to create a nonprofit because I'm around all these women, different ages, different backgrounds, lifestyles, but the same common thing was the support. What does it look like after this? Some people are going back to same lifestyle, drugs, drug dealers, just not showing up for their children, or just not knowing what to do in life. And being able to create a space, starting inside, because that's where it really starts. They go to court, you go outside, then it's done. But starting inside and actually creating and preparing when it comes to how to search for a job, when it comes to what is it that you find interesting, or what is it that you connect with inside. Have you done therapy? What healing needs to start? Clothes, transportation, where are you sleeping? Because those COs, they stand at the door saying, I'm gonna see you when you get back. It's no support. It's like a negative force around everything. They're from the food to everything. There's no form of anything positive, and that's something that we have to create. So for myself, I believe that God put me in that situation to be exactly where I need to be to help people that are there. And it's possible. Creating help inside for it to flow on the outside, that is what they don't want, because you can really switch and change over the society if they're getting the proper support and help that they need.
And from someone who is really interested in supporting you guys, what does the support specifically look like? Like, we understand, okay, when you're first getting out, you got to have a place to stay. You need money. You need money before you get out, because that's all this world is about. You know, what does it actually look like? What does support, or what would support look like for you, Adrian, fresh out?
I think doing the opposite of what society does, which is pretty much setting us up to fail. And so the opposite would be setting us up to succeed. So it's like all the things that really matter, helping out with that, like credit. That's something that's very important. You need that for just getting a place, a car, a house. And a lot of times, a lot of people don't really know how important that is. So, and there's people that offer free credit services. Like, that information is valuable to people. I think, like Operational Hope, they offer those services. But so I would say support would be that information of credit. Support would be, like Chanel said, therapy, even cognitive group therapy. You know, I would say exposure to jobs. You know, to try to figure out what it is that exactly that you want to do. You know, having more exposure, not just like, you know, being like real limited. You know, having more opportunity.
These are the only options.
Or if you even want to be an entrepreneur, having that information for funding and stuff like that. I think mentorship is very important.
Very.
You know, because it's like talking to somebody. You know, it's one thing having information, but like somebody, like having someone to be there. You know,
hold you accountable.
Hold you accountable. And to have a safe space. You know, to be able to talk about the things that you typically might not feel comfortable with saying to somebody, but having somebody there for you in those moments to help you get through it and navigate through everything. I think that's important.
I agree.
Yeah, and so, like I said, this is very close to me. One of the things that we were blessed to do was save. So while he was in there, when he got out, we were able to bless him with some money, you know, because that's the number one need when you get out. You got to have money to have a place to stay. You have to have money to eat, because they don't give you anything when they release you, do they?
They give you what you came in with. So if you came in with some shorts and that's it, and it's winter time, you're going outside with some shorts and that's it.
Wow.
Yeah, where I was at, they give you a reserve. So like you can make like $1 a day.
Wow.
But unless you go to like pre-release.
Now, what is that? What is that for us that don't know?
Okay, so pre-release is like a minimum security level, like right before. Everybody don't get that opportunity. Some people just go straight out in society.
Okay.
But if you have that opportunity where, like, you know, they kind of like reward good behavior. So like you kept like, you know, you was out of trouble and stuff like that, then you'll go to a lesser minimum, and then pre-release is when you can go out and work a real job and come out and come back, and you know, so you can save money from there. Okay. And then go out and, you know, you'll have something.
So everyone's not offered that, though. I mean, which I understand, because if you've been in there acting, misbehaving, of course you shouldn't have that. But that's not offered to. You can't tell me that the majority of people in there is not doing the right thing. So why wouldn't that be offered to everyone who served their time, didn't get into a lot of trouble, and they have that path back out? Why is that? Why do they do they nitpick who they offer that to, or is it dependent on charges? I don't know. I'm a novice.
The charges.
Is it okay?
Your charge matters. Whether or not you have like more than one conviction.
The history. The place where you are matters.
The place
you can
where
be
you
in
are
somewhere that doesn't have that at all, and you just SOL.
Okay. And a lot of people actually do have a difficult time with being infraction free because that environment is tempting. It reproduces violence.
Okay. Yes.
You know, and as you know, everybody got their own challenges. So sometimes you got people in there that may have, you know, drug addiction and stuff like that, and you you know, they struggle with that, so it's difficult for, you know, that's kind of the reason why you do need like a lot of help, because the system is based on retribution. It's not really about rehabilitation. It's about, you know,
How much money
you
they
did
can
this,
make, yep.
so we're gonna we're gonna hurt you by putting you in this situation. When in all actuality, you create a condition for these decisions to be made. You know, so going to what you were saying before is like the things that we can do about supporting each other matters.
Yes.
It matters, and you know, there's so much that's against us. I think that all of us kind of like, you know, really start individually doing the work on ourselves. That matters. That affects other people who we're never going to see probably, you know. But the information that we do have and us sharing it, and that matters too, because it gets to people, and because a lot of people don't know about the resources that's available. Like when I had got out, they gave us a grant to go to CDL school. Really? So they paid for my whole CDL school. They got me a job, but it was other options. Like I could have took a grant for $20,000 to do like business and stuff like that. But I felt like the CDL would be more valuable because of what I wanted to do down the line. But that's employee PG, Maryland Workforce. They offer those kind of resources.
Now, how do you find them though?
And that's the thing; it's not like readily available. Right. So it's like, you know, I kind of just went out. You know, it's like
did your own digging.
Did my own digging, and like I met people. So you know, that's God. Yeah, yeah. You know, so just aligning things. Even like recently, getting a government job, driving dump trucks. I met someone there who has their own dump truck company, who's been holding my hand this whole time for me to do the exact same thing. You know, but like all of that information is like my long-term goal, which is I want to give to people who are incarcerated, who are coming from incarceration, but not just them, at-risk youth too, to try to even prevent them from even going down that path.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, so.
And so Chanel, you went into the beauty industry, which you are amazing in. You had the temperament, everything for it. What made you choose that path? And how was it getting in, once you were back into society, how easy was it or difficult was it for you to maneuver in that particular industry?
So this beauty therapy, that is my business, it was blessed to me when I was actually inside. And I was watching a sermon one Sunday, and the topic was beauty for ashes. And where the pastor was just saying, you know, like God is asking you for your ashes so that he can give you beauty. And that was my prayer, because, you know, I was ready to go home. Like, I'm ready to be with my family. So that was my prayer. And I held on to that. I held on to the scripture of it, beauty for ashes, flowers for my sorrow, and joy for my broken heart. And so when I came home, I first just went to Canada for a little bit. Then I finally moved to Atlanta. I was actually going to go to school to be a probation officer. Because I wanted to help young people. Just like him, I wanted to stop the youth from having to go farther into this type of lifestyle. And I knew that like a lot of probation officers don't have that like to really help. So went to school. I wasn't able to get in. So I'm like, okay, God, what am I supposed to do? Brother told me about being an esthetician. I looked it up. I was like, all right. Went to school, fell in love with the director, fell in love with the process, fell in love with learning that I can heal people with my hands. I can heal people holistically. And I am somebody who, once I like love something, I'm going to obsess over it, and I'm going to figure out how I can be the best, because that's just, I dominate. I have to. And that's just what I did. And it was not easy, but coming from that situation, just where I come from, like not doing something that's easy is okay. I can work. Like I'm a hustler. I can work. There's no pressure at all. So I just worked my butt off while I was in school. After I graduated, I worked in different spas, learning like everything that I'm doing now, lashes, the machines that I have, I specifically went to a spa and worked for somebody that had those things so that I can learn.
Self-taught.
Yeah, and just do the best that I can. I hit my last job when I was working for a plastic surgeon in Johns Creek. That's where I found out like who I was in the industry, because she had no clients when I got there. And I was only working one day when I started. Within the very month, towards the end of the month, I was working 5 days a week, busy, because they never had a facial like me. I'm talking them through it. I just loved what I did. We didn't do well together, her and I. She ended up firing me.
It happens.
Yeah, and that's okay, because it doesn't matter to me. She ended up firing me because, and this is something I realized inside, like spiritually, developing and growing your mindset is a real thing. And it doesn't matter somebody's accolades. If they got a broken mindset, it's going to show.
Right.
And she unfortunately did. And I told her that, and she didn't like it. And she fired me, but it was one of the best decisions that was made, because it forced me to then go into my own suite. And I had I'm one of them crazy people that you're not supposed to start your business like that. Like, I got a suite. I had no clients. I bought a $40,000 machine. I had no clients. And I just like hustled. I grabbed everybody I knew, like, lay down. They don't know who you are. And once that happened, maybe like 1-2 weeks, I was booked. COVID came, knocked me down for a little bit. And then, I just been chugging ever since. So I've been in business 5 years last year. So this year is going to be 6. So I'm just extremely grateful for the transitions.
Yeah. And you're working on being an entrepreneur, you stated. And so what is your ultimate goal with that? I know you said you're looking to relocate. Why the relocation at this time, and then what is your goal once you relocate?
So to answer your first question, my goal with the trucking industry is to start out with one truck, then from that one truck get another truck, to as many that I feel like I can be responsible for, and create an ecosystem.
Okay.
You know, where I have trucks and then eventually get a lot and have an in-house mechanic, and keep it all circulating and like that. The reason I want to move is because I just want to be somewhere different. I want to be somewhere where it's like I said earlier, I like the heat. So yeah, I like the heat.
I told him, I said, some storms there, so good luck.
Yeah, I want to be with the heat there, and it's more opportunity for the dump truck industry in Texas.
Okay.
So kind of work out best for me,
Yeah. So as far as, and I know we tapped on this just a little bit, I wanted to go a little bit deeper. As far as since you've been, I don't know how long has it been since you've been?
It's 2 years now.
2 years. And the world is so different. So you were in during COVID. What was life like in there during COVID?
Hell. I had COVID twice.
Wow.
It was easily circulated, obviously.
They didn't do any kind of preventative?
No.
Okay.
And they forced us to take the shot, or you couldn't like work a job and stuff like that. The vaccine. But yeah, it was bad. Yeah. How it was ran. So.
But now you're out. It's been 2 years, and so you have a plan. Sounds like a really good plan, a realistic plan, because I know some people come in, and that's the other piece I want to talk about. When you have served time, no matter how long or short that time is, especially when the world is changing, how do you know what to come out? What you go in with, the ideas or whatever your talents may be. Now we're very AI driven now. We were not AI driven 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. So how do you find your footing coming out? And so they don't offer classes, so everything you have to do, and this is what I want to say, and I'm going to say this straight to the camera. This is why we as a community have to really support our community, not just our family, not just our friends, but our full community, because they're coming out with nothing. And what you said, the guys say when you leave, we'll see you again, you'll be back. that's the mentality because there's no support out here. You know, and like I said, you are very grounded, but you are rare, you know, and people coming out, they have no clue what they want to do. Some people say, I want to start a t-shirt company. Well, people ain't doing that anymore. You know what I mean? And so you have some level of having to catch up. Yeah. And there's not really any true support out here. I wish the program you joined was nationwide, that everybody can experience that or have an opportunity. If you're in there and you serve well and you do well, that you have an opportunity to get that particular grant. So you said you work with a mentor. Break down the need for that from these guys that's coming out and still trying to be cool. Because I'm going to be honest, one of the things that we heard, well, just tell them to go get a job as a garbage man because they hire people. And I'm like, well, what if that's not his? And I know you got to get started somewhere, but what if that's not his call? So what is the importance of having a mentorship, and what should a mentorship look like?
The importance of having a mentorship, one is that you're seeing someone who's where you're trying to get at. You know, so that seeing has its own impact in itself. And then they're working with you consistently. I mean, based on their availability, but it's a consistent thing that they're working with you on. You know, and I think that means a lot because you're gonna. So if you've been doing something a certain way for a long time, this is a habit, maybe even deeply ingrained conditioning. You know, it's more than just a conversation. You know, you got to work your way into something else. And the mentor is like helping you, supporting you into, you know, going into that direction. You know, so that's the value of that, you know.
And I just feel like they should offer at least free counseling. Just if you don't give anything away for free, give counseling.
They kind of do in a way.
They do? Okay.
But, so, and
Barely. You got to say you about to kill yourself for them to sit here and talk to you.
Well, in a way, it just like so. In a way, they do offer it. Like after you release, is that if you get released, you don't have any money, you can get Medicaid, and so from Medicaid, you can use that insurance to get a therapist. And so it's just that people don't really know,
right?
You know, so you can use that to get a therapist, and from there you can get free counseling basically, until you start working somewhere that you go outside of whatever you're making is outside of the eligibility for Medicaid.
I do want to piggyback. So one, with the mentorship, mentors are important because one of the biggest of them all is the connections that they have and that they can make. Because those connections can be so powerful that it can cut down time of learning or doing something based off of who you're connecting to.
That's true.
And then two, I just want to say, with all the opportunities you got was great. With women who are incarcerated and coming out, they don't have all those opportunities like men do.
Really?
Even down to like in prison, yes, they can go to school, they can get degrees, they also have work release, but it's only but so much. With men, they have a couple more different options to the point where a man can actually come home and they might have learned how to put a chair together while they were inside or a bookshelf. So they have these type of tools where a woman sat and then gained weight because it's not much to do. It's your regular Bible studies. You might have somebody that will come in there and teach a workshop of something. That's it.
So there's a need for us as women to go in.
Big time. And start teaching, start connecting, start helping. These are moms. These are, women they can actually do. They just need help and guidance. One of my goals in life is to bring aesthetics into prison. A man can get his barber license and come home and cut hair.
He can.
A woman cannot do that. So it's like we don't have the opportunity. You literally have to just come out and figure it out.
That's a good point. I didn't know that, but I never realized the imbalance in that because you can develop a trade in there and come out and be. And now, to me, that's a slight advantage because you can come out as an entrepreneur. Of course, you got to secure, because you got to have money to pay booth, because you don't have a clientele built in, because you're just coming out, but you still got to have money.
Yeah.
So you have the trade, but you got to have the money to get started. So it's almost like a catch-22. But one of the things I love about you, Adrian, is that you've only been out for 2 years. Like I said, you are so grounded, but you're also an author. And you wrote a book called Uncaged Heart. Tell us how that came to be.
So the title Uncaged Heart came from, just thinking about how me, myself, and so many other people kind of like, they never really get their talent out because of, their environment, whatever challenges they're dealing with. So it's like, the call to let it out, let your passion out, forget what this person say. As you was talking, I started thinking about like one of the challenges growing up and that I see with a lot of people, and the reason why they don't have confidence is because of how they internalize things. Like even in there being incarcerated, the way that the prison system treats you, you got to be very resilient. And it's like, it shouldn't be that way. It should be more so geared towards, supporting you in a direction like the community should be more towards geared into, supporting you. Let's repair, let's rehabilitate. And it's not that way. It's like, all this is against you. You got to figure it out. You got to be resilient. And
they betting on you not to.
And they betting on you. There's a statistical improbability that you're not going to make it out of this situation.
Right.
And, but you just like, that's why it is important for us to have to get the information out there to help people. I forgot your original question.
No, I was just asking you about your book and what caused you to write it.
Go back to that. Go back to the book.
It's okay.
So in there, when I was incarcerated, they had interns and professors.
Okay.
Interns came from UMES and Salisbury University. And so like when I realized, I'm gonna start doing things differently because where I'm doing it is not really giving me the results I want, I started opening my mind. I remember a guy, he came and said, when you close yourself off to the world opened up to you. That kind of stuck with me, But I was in there and I started taking advantage of what they did offer.
Okay.
The cognitive group therapy, I started really doing it, really like studying and really trying to, implement it. Start going to the library. But them coming from Salisbury University and UMES, the professors and the interns, they had a creative writing class. And so I used to write poetry when I was young, but I never really took it serious. But when they had their creative writing class, I said, let me try this out. So I tried it, and then I started getting more detail, imagery and sensory details, and and I'm like, So it was a challenge to see how we all was gonna do in the creative writing class. So I'm in the creative writing class and I'm doing it, and I did good. And I was like, dang, maybe there's something here. And so I stuck with it, and I kept writing. That we ended up making a book together. The people that was in the creative writing class. The book was called I Write Because I Can't Fly. And I thought that was a good title to describe how I felt. Like I'm very limited to express the way I feel. I'm very limited to do so much. But let me condense my feelings and my art, and that's what I did. And that's how Uncaged Heart came about.
Well, please keep doing that. Please keep writing. I just got goosebumps. I'm a creative to the heart, and I'm always rooting for fellow creatives and staying encouraged in that realm. Even though you're going to be doing the trucking and your entrepreneurship, don't forget that. Because even with you talking about it, that's a soul thing for you. So I love that. We only have a few minutes left. So Chanel, I wanted you to, if you can, speak to any woman out there who may still be incarcerated and looking to be released soon, and encourage her and inspire her to just say, okay, it's not going to be easy, but stay the course. And then I'll have Adrian, I'll have you do the same for men.
Okay. So for the woman that is inside right now, as we speak, believe in yourself. Number one, don't worry about what things look like. Don't worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. Believe in yourself. Believe in God. And just be ready for what's to come. Don't limit yourself just because of your background or your history or what things look like however many years ago. This is a new day. One of the things that I truly wish that I had was somebody to guide me beforehand. But it's like we're here now. So all we can do is keep moving forward. So I just pray that you're able to come home and God aligns things up for you to the point where you're meeting the perfect person, you're in the perfect place, you're getting the perfect education, the perfect information so that you can figure out what is it that you want to do. Everybody has been blessed and birthed with a purpose. And sometimes negative forces on this earth don't want us to get there. So they create a lot of distractions and bumps in the road. And I just encourage you to just keep your head up high and keep moving forward because it will turn around.
Absolutely. Adrian, will you speak to our men?
Yeah, most definitely. I'm going to say choose life. You know, whatever decisions we make is leading to death or life. You know, choose to live and believe in yourself, most definitely. Believe in, your ability to do things. Take the time to invest in yourself. Even though you're away, it's still time. Time is time. Wherever you're at, you can still choose how you want to spend your time and what person you want to be, how you show up in the world or in whatever circumstance you want. So choose different, take that time to do the work on yourself and educate yourself. And no matter, I know it's a lot of going against you, but just try to connect with the things that's going for you. That's my piece.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I want to thank both of you guys, my co-hosts, Chanel and Adrian. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me.
Thank you for having me.
Learned a lot from you, and you guys make sure you go get that book. All right, we'll be right back.
Trish Standley TV Show.
I would like to thank you guys for hanging out with us on today, especially through this topic, life after lockup and incarceration. As you can only imagine, we can only imagine if we've never experienced it, is already a hard and tough thing to have to live. And living it out and then coming home, where is the support? Where are we? Where are we for our community? We're not showing up in the ways that we should. One of the things that Adrian shared off camera prior to airing is that a lot of times we are thinking as individuals, or we're thinking as a family unit, and we're not thinking of the overall community. We all possess different giftings, different talents that we can offer and serve our community who is newly fresh out of prison or jail. And we really need to connect as a community and support one another, whether they're charged with something that they did not do, or even if they were charged with something that they did do. If they're ready to rehabilitate truly, they should have a soft place in their community to come. So let's get excited, let's get ignited. If you have a program out there that is addressed for fresh out of incarceration inmates, please hit me up, DM me, and let me know so that we can share that information. Thank you guys for tuning in. And remember, this is the place where the everyday woman reigns. And it's also the place where we give love. So make sure you give some love away today.
This is the place